I kind of want to talk about that because here we'll start.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
I got to tell you, Joe, it's insanity right now.
Tell me about it, man. I had to close the windows today and turn on the air conditioner.
Damn.
There's the pollen. I mean, I can take it when it's like 78, 79 outside, but this mango tree is just pollinating like crazy and it's crushing.
See, you're in the Grove. You've got all of that hanging. It's what's it called? Where it's like the overhang of all the tree canopy. You've got a canopy, so you've got a genuinely kind of shaded, cooler place. Our house, my wife's premenopausal, so we're fucking cranking AC here 24/7, 2 units. So
yeah,
$400.
Yeah, I know it is different here. You're right, because when I was living up in Northeast Miami for all those years, it would just seem so hot all the time.
Yeah.
And here I actually, feel like I'm in the shade all the time. So
yeah,
it's
that
cool,
and the Gables are probably the only places here in this part of Florida that have that canopy left.
Yeah.
And the Grove has it the most because it's mostly wild. It's funny. I was driving through there the other day and I'm looking at the McMansions, and these people are like shoving these houses to the very edges of their lots, these new houses they're building. And I'm like, why? What the fuck are you doing in the Grove? Because you just
Pinecrest, man.
There is nothing Grove left of your lot, like nothing. It's just a house in a location. But the whole point of the Grove is the wild trees and the artists and the fun and the music. And, it's not all that anymore, but that's the way it used to be. Anyway, I'm sure our listeners are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, no, but you're right. Like right down like 2 houses away, there's this like kind of, modernistic sort of, Mies van der Rohe-ish 2 or 3 level type house. But it sticks out of all the trees and bushes. So it's just sitting there getting radiated all day long.
Yeah.
And, it's like a pretty price tag, and it's all the way up to the, lot limits. Like you said, it's like a townhouse development, but it's a giant house.
Yeah.
So Chuck is saying something about we don't seem to be live on YouTube. He might have.
Oh, it says we are. Hold on. Let me take a look. Let me view on YouTube. I am looking at us live on YouTube, okay. Chucky.
Maybe it just came in from before because I know we were a couple minutes late.
I'll send him the link. Let's see if he can see it. Hold on. He said it in Telegram?
Yeah.
I don't know why it would have come up with a different link than what he normally sees. It's weird. Maybe the Russians intercepted us.
Yeah, I know.
James said it started 5 minutes late. Oh, yeah. I think that may have been. Oh, maybe that's what Chuck was thinking. Yeah, we were late. We were late, Chuck.
We were singing your praises.
We were talking about you, dude.
But so what do you
All right, so let's see what we got here. I haven't seen any real update on the whole Andre Anton thing. Like these guys here. I don't want to spend too much time on this today, but I was thinking about it again last night because I'm actually, as I get like 10 minutes here and 15 minutes here, I'm like writing. I'm going to make this our first big blog post on missiondefi.com, Joe, because I'm breaking out a lot of like shit that you and I know from all of our years in tech and startups and business, right? And the things that we can and how to fashion them for DAOs, how to fashion them for a community. So I was thinking about it again last night, and I'm thinking, okay, these two guys do this announcement, right? Like the first day, people are like, oh, they probably fucking shorted everything. And I was like, oh, you cynical piece of shit. What are you talking about? Don't be such a cynic. Andre's a good guy, blah, blah, blah.
It's risk management, though, really.
And then I still think it's just spite, but I'm leaning heavily to intentional at this point. Because here's the thing. They put out this tweet and they watch as every project they're involved with, every team member, every investor takes a massive fucking hit, right? And Phantom still hasn't recovered today. And then they watch this all happen and they see everyone talking about it. That whole tweet thread that I did yesterday, I don't know how many hundreds of fucking likes and retweets it's got going on, but it's been keeping me busy. Mm-hmm. And everybody's talking about it. The people at the Phantom Foundation are basically saying, what the fuck, right? Not another tweet, Not a single other tweet clarifying, hey, sorry about that. Our wording wasn't great. Not a blog post or a Medium post. Nothing. Just fucking radio silence. And the other thing that eats at me is Andre knows markets. He's been writing Yearn strategies for how long now? He knows what markets do and how they react to things. He's been studying the workings of the markets in crypto and DeFi for a long time. So how do you not know that that's going to be the impact? So anyway, I'm leaning that way right now.
Unless Anton just went cowboy.
Yeah, oh, that could be interesting. Oh, that'd be some interesting. Maybe he killed Andre. That's why Andre's disappeared.
Andre's hanging
Twitter.
Out with the
he got Andre's wallet keys and can we get sued for saying that?
No. We're satirical.
We're making up a story. Yeah.
It's just satire.
Exactly. Oh, I got to.
If you don't get it, well, you don't get it.
It's the Onion article.
Yeah, exactly. Where's Samantha Bee equivalents?
We need a DeFi Onion. That'd be fun.
Oh, that would be fun. But yeah, that could be manipulated like crazy. Just like that. It's like,
because then we could say whatever the fuck we want.
Holy shit, Ave gets hacked. 6 billion drained. Get your money now. Just fucking with you. Oh man. All right, this is interesting. So this is going to be a good one to talk about.
So here, Coinbase conforms to sanctions, box 25,000 illicit Russian crypto wallet addresses. So I haven't read this whole article, but
I haven't either.
The first paragraph says, Coinbase, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the United States, announced Monday that it had blocked more than 25,000 cryptocurrency wallet addresses associated with Russian persons or businesses suspected of engaging in criminal behavior.
25,000 is a lot.
That's a fuck of a lot.
Yeah.
And then here's the question. You own Coinbase, you own one of the top tier blockchain analytics companies in the world. You acquired them, right? This is what DOD uses. This is what all the big fuckers use, right? Mm-hmm. It took sanctions for you to go clean out the fucking illicit criminal activity wallet addresses? What?
It's the Coinbase laundromat, it sounds like.
It sure does. When's the Colombian list and the Panamanian? I mean, how?
Yeah, I wonder how they're doing that too. Like, how do you determine that someone is? First of all,
they used their analytics tool, but they obviously hadn't bothered to use it because they didn't want to know before today.
So is Coinbase? I mean, they have other jurisdictions they run Coinbase into. Are they talking about U.S. jurisdiction or other ones?
Oh,
because all the U.S.
maybe it's only Russian wallets. I mean, Russian in Russia. Like
yeah,
Coinbase Russia. Is there a Coinbase Russia?
I don't know. I don't know either way. But look, if you're in the U.S. Coinbase, obviously you're hooked to your bank account.
And then it says Coinbase's chief legal officer Paul Grewal, and they have KYC.
Yeah.
And they have blockchain analytics, some of the best in the business. How do you not know this before the sanctions come? Oh shit, we better look at all those Russians we have.
And they can't all be illicit. That's the thing. I think they're just doing every single one that comes from a Russian IP address.
Yeah, block them all.
The Russians don't know about VPNs.
But they need to be a little more careful about how they spin this. Oh, there's a blog post. Of course, whoever this is, Bitcoinist, didn't link to it. Is Bitcoinist that Bitcoin SV pub?
I don't know, man.
Anyway, this is like, there's so many questions.
Well, plus, who says 25,000? I mean, when I see a number like that, I go made up.
Yeah, it's too even.
It's like, 24,350. I'd believe that. But I don't believe 20,000. I don't believe 25,000. I don't believe 10,000. It just looks made up.
The blocked address. Oh, fucking Bloomberg paywall.
I know they're horrible at that paywall shit.
It's not like there's not going to be 45 other stories of the same story, dude. You're not special, Bloomberg.
Usually Reuters will have something on it.
Coinbase has now blocked 25,000 wallets belonging to Russian individuals and entities. The platform implemented a multi-layer global sanctions program to support government authorities in deterring unlawful aggression and promoting national security. This effort involves blockchain analytics technologies, yes, which they own. Here's their blog. Let's find out for sure what they're actually saying. Maybe it's like there were 25,300 wallets in Russia in Coinbase, so we blocked them.
Yeah,
instead of criminal activity.
And they got to prove their innocence, basically.
Block access to sanctioned actors, detect attempts at evasion, anticipate threats. Today, Coinbase, this is their blog post. Coinbase blocks over 25,000 addresses related to Russian individuals or entities we believe to be engaging in illicit activity, many of which we have identified through our own proactive investigations. Note, this figure isn't specific to the time period since the invasion of Ukraine. Most of these addresses we identified prior to the invasion, and we have not seen a surge in sanctions evasion activity. Once we identified these addresses, we shared them with the government to further support. Okay, so here's the story that nobody's reporting properly. They have been identifying addresses involved in illicit activity for a long time. They, over all of this time, have identified about 25,000, and they have been sharing those addresses with legal enforcement authorities in governments related to those addresses. They did not suddenly just block 25,000 addresses and find illicit activity. So, like, I still think there's only one decent reporter in all of fucking crypto. It's like, seriously, people, at least read the fucking blog post that you're reporting on. It's in bold.
Yeah. All the other media makes it sound like, oh, this morning we blocked 25,000
exactly
Russian wallets.
Exactly. And that's what you and I were jumping to the conclusion of, right? Because that's how those other stories wrote it. But here's what the real story is. It's just pitiful. Just pitiful.
Well,
anyway,
it just goes to show you too that that whole concept where everybody, I mean, I don't really look at sanctions evasion as being that big of an issue. Just like when I talk about USDT and things like that, Russians can't show up with a dump truck.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was reading the comment. They can't show up with a dump truck full of rubles and convert it into Bitcoin. So just like you can't go buy USDT with a dump truck full of Colombian, whatever their currency is, bolivars or something. Or anything else. It's a total
pain in the ass to get in and out. Like, I was doing that today to pay bills, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is annoying.
Yeah, no, I was like, they come after about every 12 months. They want an updated driver's license photo.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I got to update my KYC, I think in September or something like that. But I just off ramp right into my bank account. So it's not like it's not reported.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not hiding anything.
Well, you couldn't do anything. I mean, there are just not yet enough places where you can spend crypto directly. I mean, I think that'll start to change, but we're not there yet. Now, I do like the idea of these crypto-backed debit cards. And I've also seen, I haven't applied for any of them, but I know Kraken has one and
Crypto.com.
Genesis has the credit card, right? Where it's actually your credit limit. I think it was Kraken's, but I don't quote me. But your credit limit is based. It's like a lending mechanism against crypto, right? Mm-hmm. But you're getting a credit card. You're not actually spending it, so it's a credit card bill with interest payments and everything else. But your available credit is based on some percentage of the value of your existing crypto in the account. That, to me, is a smart move. That's probably something I should look at doing. But it's cool.
Yeah, no, I think that, I don't know, some of them have different restrictions. I don't know what Americans can do on, say, crypto.com. I do know some people that live overseas that are Americans that have accounts there and credit cards and things, but I don't know if you can do it in the US. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know that Kraken has one. I'm just not sure which one has the one against your crypto. Eamon says, I'm guessing this is when we find out which blockchains are truly decentralized. will bank freeze assets? I think he meant Phantom ? No idea, dude. We'll see if the government goes after a specific chain to try to freeze. I don't know. We'll see. Look, today the Biden administration's busy. Looks like they're going to block oil sales.
Yeah, I think they just announced that.
They did? Okay.
I think I saw that just a second ago. Yeah.
And then everybody freaking out over Biden's cryptocurrency. He said BSC. Well, BSC freeze assets. Phantom. I got you. Okay. And by the way, I mean, it's now BNB chain.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody's going to, hey, wow, it's new. It's the BNB chain.
Exactly. James said for accounts and credit cards. I think he might be talking about my
crypto.com or Kraken
thing. I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Well, a lot of guys that I know, they do put a lot into, say, crypto.com, and they use, they draw down off of it. They use the credit cards. They get tons of bennies from those accounts too.
Yeah.
But these are guys that have been in the game for a while, and they've got a lot piled up.
Yeah, it's going to be tough getting my wife to switch because we bank our we take a good number of vacations every year, and almost all of them are paid for with our Southwest Airlines credit card points. So,
yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, no, that is handy because you have to you're carrying around like multiple kids.
Yeah, we got family of 4 thing going on, so it's great.
I can always
airfare, hotel. I mean, food and ski rentals as well. So.
No, I know. I luckily with that, since I have one, I can always pull her along with me on upgrades and things like that.
That's awesome.
Just get double bedded rooms, and it works out fine. But if I was carrying around a whole posse or an entourage, that gets pretty pricey pretty fast.
You're not kidding. So we put everything through that credit card. But I look, if they had like crypto rewards plus, some kind of points, I'd be tempted.
Somebody's giving crypto rewards. What did I just see? Was a bank or it was a
card? There was Shake Shack was doing something with Bitcoin back through Cash App.
That's what I saw. Yeah,
I wish Cash App. When Cash App had it, because Cash App has a debit card, and you got your cash in there. You can deposit checks. It has an ATM capability. It's basically everything you need in a bank, basically. But they're not consistent. They only turn on those rewards once every 2 or 3 months. You can say, okay, every time I spend money at X, I get a little Bitcoin. But they don't do it consistently.
Well, I think it was Eamon, either James or Eamon said this. I have my thing full screen, so I can't see the comments right now. But I guess I'd be curious, how BSC was always going to truly decentralize. I mean, what's the latest you've heard on BlockFi?
Yeah, Eamon says BlockFi box cashback, baby. All my purchases go through that now.
There you go.
Is that a credit card, Eamon? I gotta check.
It must be.
Is it like a BlockFi black card?
Or like a PayPal-y thing?
No.
What do you think right now, speaking of like true decentralization? I mean, obviously the BTC maxis are going to be on this issue big time, but I remember BSC was really trying to go to decentralization fully on. I mean, what is your latest from following what CZ is saying about that?
So the last thing that they did when they changed, I've seen it now. That's cool, man. I was just looking at the BlockFi thing. 3.5% back on purchases and 3.5% back in Bitcoin from purchases.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's awesome. That's actually pretty good. It's a credit card, not a debit card. So when they announced the name change, they also announced they were doubling the number of validators. I don't think that they are yet community chosen validators like other chains. I think they are still being chosen by the core developers at BNB chain. But I could be wrong about that. That said, that's a good first step. I think they need to accelerate their efforts a little bit, but whatever. I do so little there. I mean, the only thing I have right now there is Eureka. That's it.
I don't have anything there. I dumped Unistal a few, weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on now with it, but I got some BNB sitting there, but waiting for something to show up.
I saw. Did we already talked about the inflows? I don't know why this article just came out, but there's an article saying that Oh no. Last week was the largest weekly inflow since December into crypto funds. Largest gain in
Yeah.
13 weeks, 127 million of cumulative inflows.
Yeah, I saw some article almost to those numbers, like
Holy
93 million in
shit.
BTC and 25 million in ETH.
Dude, it went up from the week prior was 36 million. Last week was 127 million.
Yeah, money's
The
coming
whole
back in.
the whole market's depressing downward in price, but those institutions and the big investors are coming in like crazy.
Well, they're buying the dip.
Yeah. I guess.
Just hope it's the right dip.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, hopefully they're only coming in with, a quarter of their stack if they're new players.
Yeah.
Because now I do feel a little bit nervous about everything, just in the sense of if there's just a wholesale, everybody just selling across the board. When you look at like the Dow and S&P 500 the last couple of days, and every time I drive by the gas pump on Route 1 coming out, going to my daughter's school, like 2 days ago it was $3.99. Yesterday it was $4.49. Today it's $4.79. And so it's just going up every day. And I get it why, but
it's going to get much worse here if they block Russian oil.
They did, man. Biden announces ban on Russian energy imports 18 minutes ago.
Damn.
And UK followed, but we only get 10% of our oil from Russia.
Yeah, but it'll be the other producers will use it as an excuse.
Oh yeah. See, I kind of think that the oil companies do gouge.
Oh, of course they gouge. Please.
And they're making up for whatever. When I saw
there's some way they hide it into like,
excess. It's inventory cost.
Exactly.
But they're probably doing like last in, first out inventory. So it's not the oil that they bought at $60 a barrel.
Exactly.
We just bought this last week for 130.
Now here's the question. I remember a couple of years ago, Southwest had been really smart and pre-bought futures and oil, whatever. They had a big fucking stack of oil, or fuel, and so they weren't in bad shape. But what is going to? The last time prices went like this, airlines were deep shit because they didn't they hadn't bought futures. I don't know if futures is the right word, but you know what I mean.
No, I hadn't locked in forward pricing.
Yeah, exactly.
So we didn't hedge pricing, basically.
Hedge pricing, exactly. So,
yeah, I'll tell you what. Last time energy prices went up like this, I don't remember. It's happened so many times in our lives. I don't remember the exact date, but I remember at one point J.P. Morgan was the largest holder of oil in the entire country. They filled up all those refineries in the Northeast with oil. They were buying it like crazy at low prices. Then when it went up, they unloaded.
Damn.
And did like, a 4X on their money. But, who pays for that? It's the consumers.
Yep.
I am kind of surprised, though, that, I don't see, Congress was getting ready to pass legislation to ban Russian energy imports. So it kind of forced the White House's hand. I think they want to do it, but at the same time, if you're calculating politically at all, high oil prices high gas prices are not going to help you come November.
No.
So, that tells me that, okay, now they're going to turn the pressure up in general because you want to get this thing done in a couple of months, whatever we're doing. And I have seen an uptick in, Russian generals getting killed. So somehow they're tracking on them and those different drones. I was reading about this amateur drone army there. It's these little undetectable ones that radar doesn't pick up, not the Turkish ones.
Oh, really?
They can come in and drop a 3-kilogram payload on any target, and so they're
Holy
just loitering
shit.
And somebody's feeding the SIGINT to them on locations. It's not hard to figure out where the command bunkers are.
That's fucking awesome. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, it's
wait, so these are like amateur Ukrainian drone flyers who are out bombing generals?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
a beautiful thing.
They're taking all this live feed of everything, and they're basically everybody who's doing camera stuff or drone stuff. They're feeding into these central areas where it's being sifted and tagged for location and this and that. Like supposedly they've tagged like every single tank in Ukraine, just like, and now they're just watching them move, and so they're waiting for opportunities. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I see what this one. Let me see. Undetectable Ukrainian drone. Let's see if I can pull this one up. It was. This is it. The Punisher drone. So, just the headline, Ukraine's military uses stealthy Punisher drones that can fly long distance while remaining undetected. The game-changing drones operate remotely, carry 3 kilograms of explosives. As the battle for Ukraine's skies continues, experts have been surprised by Russia's lack of air power. So this is, that convoy is stalled north of Ukraine because they've been pounding it, which I'm surprised the media hasn't picked up on too much. But, they're hitting it with the javelins. They're shooting down helicopters and jets with Stingers, and they're pounding ground targets. I mean, not to laugh, but with this Punisher drone. So, I think that means that, you're going to see the intensity step up here in the next couple of weeks, because I just don't see how you can have gas prices at $8 a gallon, which I think is where it's going. But
here's the thing. Here's the saving grace, at least in the US, I think, for that is all companies are going to do is say, yeah, let's go back to remote.
Yeah.
And maybe the kids go back to remote, for a little bit, and let's just fucking save the gas and not sweat it. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, but anyway.
But it would be interesting. Yeah. I think there's some pandemic. I mean, I might go out on a ledge here and say that there's some pandemic weariness out there.
Of course.
I think there's a good.
Did you see this one?
I saw this clip. Yeah, this is a good one. It takes out the helicopter.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know what that is. That must be a Stinger.
It's maybe a Stinger. It just says Ukrainian anti-air missile.
Yeah, those usually go, up into the sky at a certain altitude level. But yeah, I just took out that helicopter. So it's, pretty sophisticated stuff. So to me, it's just putting more pressure on them. There was another article out about FSB guys that have really been tied to that Chechen hit team and the Wagner group. They sent 3 assassination teams at Zelensky in the last week.
Really?
And one was Wagner group. And
I heard about the one. I didn't hear about more.
Yeah, the Chechens got wiped out. And now the Chechens are all pissed, talking about going after Moscow because they had all their troops massacred. And the same with Wagner Group, that Russian mercenary, Blackwater equivalent type entity. And
it's kind of fun to have the rest of Eastern Europe ready to kill Russia. That'd be interesting.
So, but what was interesting is that they're saying there's a whole bunch of FSB guys that are leaking information that supposedly the FSB didn't even know this war was going to happen.
Yeah, I saw that piece where the guy was saying, we didn't even know this is a colossal cluster.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to lose. And they're saying that Russia's already lost 10,000 soldiers.
Holy shit.
And,
now a lot of that may be propaganda, but still.
Yeah, I mean, but still, if you see that convoy there and you have to see all those vehicles and they've shot down like 3 Russian troop transports. They're going after the planes with the paratroopers. They're not wasting a lot of time on fighter jets. They're going for troop transports. So I could see, how long can he take it? I mean, probably for a while until the other powerful people decide enough's enough. I mean, what are we up to? 5 yachts seized at this point? In one lockdown, while they're going through like 16 shell companies to figure out whose it is.
Yeah, who's it actually belong to.
But anyhow, so what about this? Let's.
So I was dying laughing last night because, all the hardcore libertarians are tweeting and everybody's tweeting, oh, fucking Biden's coming out with the executive order. We're done. We're screwed. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people. Have you never watched the federal government in action? Because
is action the right word?
Yeah, everything is a fucking study, and that's all this is going to be. It's telling all the agencies to go study shit. That's it, and that's our opportunity to communicate, to educate. So this, I just cracks me up. It's like, please, people, just fucking chill out. There's too much money in this. Biden is not going to sign an order banning everything tomorrow. You just need to chill the fuck out. Because it's
people
are
actually saying that they think he's going to.
Oh, they were not the ban, but they were like, "Here comes Biden. He's going to start making everyone disclose, and they're going to try to block DeFi and blah 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 blah." I'm like, please, God, it'll be 3 years before we have the results of these stupid studies.
Yeah, we're still dealing with 2017 right now.
Oh my God, it's like, please. I mean, how long did it take them to do anything on 2008 and nothing happened anyway? I mean, give me a break. So.
A bunch of bailouts happened, but
a bunch of fucking bonuses. A bunch of bonus checks went out.
Yeah, I kind of been tracking this for a while, and I kind of come to the same conclusion that it's really just how do the Russian, I'm not Russian, goddamn, how do the American agencies use crypto in more efficient ways?
Yeah.
And how can it, it's sort of like when .com started, and everybody was all focused on, oh hell, a website, wow, that's pretty cool. But in the end, you look at like the efficiencies that were created or the margin that was created in say corporate profit and loss statements from the efficiencies created, probably added 3, 4, 5% to free cash flow or EBITDA margins across the board. So when something like this, which was, unintended consequence, nobody was really thinking that. They were just thinking, oh, wow. Hey, I can order a 50-pound bag of dog food online. It shows up at my door.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It was all e-commerce portals and all that stuff. Well, when I see something like this come out, or like another example would be the Star Wars stuff from Reagan in the early 80s. Everybody focused on, lasers to shoot down missiles. Well, what the hell's that been, like 50 years now or 40 something years? And I don't know. Does it work? Not. No. Who knows?
It was at the time everyone said it was a fucking pipe dream.
But so much technology came out of that in other areas, civilian use areas that, whenever you focus the government on something like that, it's all the other things that come off of it. And so I see this as a good thing, this crypto order, because now they're all going to be studying it to figure out ways to use it.
Yeah.
And in that, then products will come out of that into the Valley or to,
Well, the other thing that'll come out of that is everybody that has lobbyists or a lobbying association related to crypto and blockchain, they'll start writing their own research reports. And then those groups will start influencing the economic think tanks that are writing research reports, right? It's like, actually, Andrew Yang and I talked about this on my interview yesterday. Was that yesterday? What day of the
week? A couple
days
ago. Yesterday?
Tuesday? Yeah, I guess it was yesterday. Today's Tuesday. Who knew?
Oh, shit. It's been a week.
What he talked about is Congress people saying, I need someone to do research and tell me what to think, right? That's what
just give me the bullets. Just give me the bullets.
Yeah. So this is our opportunity, right? Like when they're actively saying we're going to study this, this is the opportunity, right? It's actually the door is opening. They are accepting the reality. They know it's here. They know it's not going away. They want to figure out, a way to do this. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to make the case. So
yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I mean, this is where, we complain.
You're wearing off on me, Joe.
Huh?
You're wearing off on me, Joe.
I noticed you're a more moderate tone this week. We're all
talking about the SEC, so we'll go.
We'll leave them alone for today.
We'll leave them alone.
Let's just blame Congress.
I wish they would put it all at. I used to wish that the CFTC. Is that it? Yeah, CFTC.
Yeah, well, I think that's where look. I mean, I heard. Well, if we don't. I'll just say back to that story. I heard that now they're looking at Ripple as a currency. So like a stable coin regulation versus
really
security versus not security. So
Joe coming in with the big scoop.
So that would be, that kind of gets it into the right area where now you can set proper rules. And so I think this, back to what we were just saying about this report and lobbyists and different things, now's the time to influence Congress and educate Congress.
Exactly.
On why this is a good thing, why this is good for America or the world, and why they need to know about it and support it. And this is how it starts. And then you get the rules.
Go ahead, keep going. That's not related.
And then, and then the SEC has to follow those rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where you kind of make the change. So this is where people write letters to their Congress people, call, lobby, go to town hall meetings, talk about why, what it's done for you, how it's changed your life for the better. Do all of those things to influence them because they really do take that. You've worked with a lot of Congress people in the past, and I know a lot of LAs in the past, and they're always back in the home district going to these meetings at the Kiwanis Club and, the church and, all these places to get questioned by their constituents.
Yeah.
So this is how you do it. Now we got to.
Well, and the other thing we need to be doing
everybody can do it.
Is look, I know everybody's hurting a little bit lately, but if you really want to make an influence, it's that exactly education, communication, persuasion, and then start we have got to fucking step up in the political game, and that means giving money to the enemies of our enemies and giving money to the super PACs in crypto that are going to go out there and attack the people who are going to stop us. The Brad Shermans of the world are not going to be defeated unless we give their opponents like Erica Rhodes and others money to make sure that Congress is leaning our direction. It's not just we're not going to elect enough pro crypto people in the next cycle. The key is to send a message. We took out Brad Sherman, so-and-so, 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 and so-and-so with crypto money. Here's the money we donated. We made sure we took them out. You're next. Get on the bandwagon, right? Then they're a lot more open to the education of the Andrew Yang's bringing studies and information to them, right? So let's, it's kind of like the war. Soften the ground up with a few bombs.
Yeah.
And then all those Congress people are going to be like, oh, okay, so I can either get money from you or you will come after me.
Yeah, it's either I'm a target or I'm an asset.
Exactly.
And so we need to turn them into assets. And I think that, I'm surprised that Ben Sherman can survive in California. When is that?
He's in a plus 19 Democratic district.
Yeah, but Erica Rhodes, she's running against him in the primary, right?
Yeah. But it's in California, they have the I don't know what the fuck it's called.
Ranked choice?
No, it's the nonpartisan primary. So basically it's the top 2 or 3 vote getters in the primaries. Even though the primaries are primaries, it doesn't matter what party you're in. So if she and Brad are the 2 top vote getters, they'll be running against each other. They won't be running against a Republican.
Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that.
It's really weird. She explained that to me the other day. We were on a call and I was like, oh, well, that changes the dynamics. So the good news is that all the primary does is gets rid of all the crazies that are running that shouldn't be. And then it leaves you to the 2 serious candidates. And then they run into the general. Look, at the end of the day, she has a really solid chance in that district. And it's not about crypto. She's not running on crypto. She's running on, this.
She's very credible.
And the putz is out of touch. He's lost it. He takes money from loan sharks and check cashing places. And he does not fit the model for that district. That's a hard left district.
Well, it's kind of like I always look at there's two types of industries and businesses in the world. There's extractive and there's creative.
Yeah.
And, those kind of like check cashing operations, they just extract money from the people who can least afford it.
Exactly.
And they imprison them. They're indentured servants basically to those entities. Whereas the other side is you start companies, you create new wealth, you create new value. And then if you're in the ground floor, you do well. If you come in later, you still do well. But you then create jobs, and it's in maybe, I don't want to say maybe greener perhaps is one, but, more civilized finance, things that, you can do well without taking money from the poor people. Okay. Right. Is the way I look at it. And so when I say man of the people, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Even though I sometimes come off a little bit.
I have a friend of a friend that owns 25 of those check cashing stores.
Yeah.
And I met him one day and I said, dude, why aren't you have this massive opportunity. You have all of these unbanked people that come to you and they see you as an enemy. And as soon as somebody else has a better rate, they're going to them. There's no loyalty.
Yeah.
You have this incredible opportunity to provide like bank-like without being a bank, financial services, or buy a bank. You've got so much money. You could buy a bank and you could actually be the guy, the hero that actually builds a national brand that actually isn't extractive, right? And look, at the end of the day, they're making so much money that there's no incentive to do that. But they also will at the same time complain about the fact that Democrats and others are coming after them. Well, it's like, look, dude, if you see on the horizon that government regs are going to come down on you, why not be the guy that makes the path that makes most sense? Anyway.
Yeah, get your free pass. I mean, I had a friend whose family owned this is years ago, but owned a liquor store in DC. And, they lived out in some pretty tony suburbs. And the liquor store, of course, was in the area of town, predominantly people of color. And, and they're selling lots of liquor, obviously, but somebody was trying to buy it. And what the people really wanted to buy was they had a check cashing service there.
Yep.
And they had 50,000 names. And it was just in this is back
Yeah, index cards.
3x5 cards, things like that, and files. And so they knew the people, they knew the kids, the parents, where they worked. People coming to cash checks. I think the fee to cash was like 10 to 15%. But they could cash without ID. And these people didn't have bank accounts.
Yeah.
So that was what everybody wanted to buy when they were buying a liquor store. They didn't really care about the liquor store.
Yeah, the liquor's not where you make money.
So
the money's on the check cashing.
Yeah. So the idea is, and the banks aren't going to treat them much better because they're going to be paying $15 a month to bank the bank, because they're not going to have high enough deposit limits, most likely, to have sort of cheap fee checking accounts. So they got to go into something else. And I think you're right. It's like, these sort of, we see them in PayPal and Cash App and all those things. But why not, a crypto play? Why not?
Yeah. Why not give every one of these people a wallet with stable coins in it? Right. Yeah. And you're still cashing their checks, same way you always would, but instead you're depositing it immediately in. You attach a prepaid debit card to it so they can use it as a card at the grocery store if they need to. They have all their money in a wallet, and then you offer them investment opportunities, right? Yeah. You start and you stop scraping them with high percentage rates. I mean, here's the other thing, right? Because then you have a gateway to the most important thing, which is, especially like in South Florida with migrants, right? Mm-hmm. You have migrant workers, they go into these stores, they pay a hefty chunk out of their check to cash the check. Then they turn around to the Western Union terminal and pay those fuckers another 10%, 15%. At the end of the day, they're losing out on all this. Well, what if you're the guy that eliminates both of those things, and you actually then go to the construction companies and the farming companies that are paying these people, and you say, hey, let's just make this all crypto. You pay me into crypto for your workers. I don't charge your workers as much. I take a small transaction fee. I give them a debit card, and I'm making money on the back end.
Yeah. Well, then these you then have loyalty.
Yeah.
As these individuals scale up and build savings, and here in Miami, it's like there's parts of it where it's like all undocumented.
Of course.
But they own the houses.
Yeah.
And they have driver's licenses and things. And they just never went in for citizenship because they don't trust governments, because they come from governments in countries where the governments are, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And so, but they still pay taxes. They FICA taxes. I mean, they're contributing to that, and they'll never see that. And it's like, why not be the person that gets them on the rolls, so to speak?
Yeah, exactly.
And banks them as they go up. Because then you got the kids. It's like that Coca-Cola example I think I mentioned once here. The foundation that, they started in first generation college kid scholarships. This is like in the early 90s, late 80s. And, and what they were predominantly going after African-American audience and awarding scholarships to kids that, this is before the Hope Scholarship thing came in Georgia, which is funded with the lottery. So anybody who gets a B+, Georgia will pay for your education if you're a resident. But with this one, they went specifically after the African-American segment because, this was right after Michael Jackson ran all those Pepsi commercials. And, there was a lot of loyalty in the African-American segment to Pepsi. And they were switching them. When you gave a scholarship to one kid, you would switch the whole extended family would switch to Coke. And the grandma was the enforcer. And she was like, nobody's drinking Pepsi in this house anymore.
Right.
And so it was it's a good thing to do, but there was a strategic reason too.
Yeah.
Because now you just acquired 80 Coke drinkers.
Exactly.
It works in all business segments, is my point.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick side note on the migrant thing. Did I talk to you about the other day? There's a podcast called Revisionist History with, it's the guy Malcolm Gladwell that I think his book is called Tipping Point. Uh-huh. Awesome podcast, because essentially it analyzes things that we make assumptions about and flips them on their head for us. So one of the things that's really interesting, and he quotes a lot of the data that supports it, is that the largest reason, the reason for the largest increase in illegal immigrants living in the United States and staying here was when we locked down and enforced our borders. Because until that time, and I guess that was 70s, there was a general that was put in charge. Maybe it was 60s. Anyway, great episode by him on this and telling how it happened. But it was a circular thing. The migrants would come here and work the fields during harvest, and then they would go home with their money to their families and be with their families. As soon as we started locking down borders, there was I think it said 20 or 25% increase in illegal migrants staying in the United States and living here.
Yeah.
So enforcement of the immigration laws actually increased the problem that people perceive from having migrants coming here.
Yeah, and one additional little thing on that real quick is that, in World War II, we had such a shortage of labor. Remember, that's when all the women started working in the factories, plenty of movies about that. But there was actually a program called the Bracero program, which sought to recruit. We would send people down to Mexico to recruit workers to come work in California. And there was a wage differential of about 13 to 1.
Wow.
So for every hour, you would make 13 times more money in the US. But we actually marketed them to come here illegally and work.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, then there was the open border. They would cycle back and forth. And it wasn't until you locked it down where they worried about not being able to get back in.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, you're right. It's like there's always these crazy unintended consequences.
It's nuts. I highly recommend that podcast. It's called Revisionist History.
Revisioning History.
It's so good, man. There's like 3 or 4 seasons, and I learned something amazing every episode. And it's well done, well produced. Real quick, back on the FECB thing, Chuck said the FCB leaker article said their internal drop dead date is June. After that, Russia is economically destitute and they can't go any longer.
Wow.
All right. So Zelensky, you just got to hold out, man. That's why, you know what? That's probably why Russia's cutting off the civilian escape routes and bombing them, because they know they have to up the pressure. And the only way they can do that is to kill more civilians. And so they want to break the back. And
the Chechnya example.
Yep.
I mean, when they just leveled those cities to like total rubble.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, someone said to me once, the difference between like us and the Russians then was that you got 100 people and one of them's guilty. In the US, well, we can't figure out which one it is, so you let everybody go free.
Yeah.
And Soviet Union, it was you kill all 100.
Exactly.
Make sure you got the
Hey, what were those drones called?
The Punisher drone.
Yeah, let's do Punisher Dow. Let's raise money to send Punisher drones to every Ukrainian citizen.
Yeah, they're actually making them. I mean, it's like it's a stealth attack drone. It's only like a 7-foot wingspan, I think. I mean, it's just amazing technology.
Let's give every Ukrainian a drone, a set of bombs, and a machine gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got
or even better, those what are those tank killers?
Javelins.
Yeah, but there's another. Is the Javelin also included? There's a acronym.
There's a TOW,
DAW or something.
TOW, TOW.
No.
TOW missile.
Anyway, same thing, I guess. Javelins are fine if that kills tanks. We'll give.
I don't think Javelin. I don't know for sure, but I don't think Javelins are wire guided. And I think TOWs are.
Maybe that's
that means you got to sit there and keep it on target.
Going.
Here comes the tank turret right at you.
Yeah, let's get the hell out now.
So Javelins, you can DD Mao out of there real fast.
Nice. Real quick, we got a boat because we got a call.
Yep.
Santander to offer loans. That's the Spanish bank. To offer loans secured by grain-based crypto tokens. So essentially, they're offering loans against the grain that you already have secured by tokens to represent the grain you have. You remember what's his name from that block?
Yeah, I was just thinking of that.
It's not his project, I don't think, unless they renamed it, because it didn't sound agro token, didn't sound familiar. But I really love this model, and I think it's smart. It's a way to penetrate the market, get it in people's hands. We got more and more things that are just kind of penetrating into the real world, because people go, oh shit, this is going to be a fuck of a lot easier if we do it with tokens. Well,
it's kind of like Ashisha's play was a similar thing. It's like the lenders, farmers would go to lenders to borrow money against their future crops.
Yeah.
And paying out like payday loan stuff, paying outrageous numbers,
of course,
just to be able to feed their family. And his play was all about tokenizing that. And I think I talked to one of his buddies, another guy that the guy that I think he was South African or what's Rhodesia called now? Zimbabwean. He was, grain guy, dude, but in Africa, but he was part of it. And so it seems to be a cool play. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I'm going to look at this tonight because we don't have time, but it sounded very interesting. If I have some time, I'll look at it tonight and then we'll take a look tomorrow. So this is called Degen Score, degenscore.com/cafe. Discover new launches, find alpha, and meet new friends. Your on-chain activity is all that counts for a seat at the DGen Score Cafe. So essentially, I think the deal is if everybody's connecting their wallets to this and they're aggregating the data of what people are buying and then presenting it. But I don't know if that's it for sure. So I'm going to take a deeper look at it, but it looks kind of cool. Could be interesting. I could see it being manipulated though. Like if you're a pump and dump group, everybody joins. All of a sudden you see a surge in some token being bought, and then, but we'll see. I'll take a look at it and try to get to it tomorrow. And Joe, this one I got for you.
Let's see it.
Tokenomics 102. There's I started reading this. This is actually pretty in depth, like pretty fucking in depth. I would probably take it a little below 102. It's from an investing perspective, but there's some interesting data and modeling. They have a 101 and a 102. So
are they tackling, I'll read it, but is it mainly about like as a post rebasing kind of model where it's controlling emissions?
No. So I think what this is an analysis. Like it's like, okay, if you're looking at a project, you're thinking about investing, look at the tokenomics this way. Are they doing A, B, C, and D, that kind of thing?
Got it.
So, and I think they're trying to make the argument on, sustainable models versus unsustainable, et cetera. It's in the Telegram group.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Okay. That's all I got, sir.
Yeah, I know we got a 1 o'clock, so let's just cut it now.
NLAWs. Yes, Chuck, that's it. Thank you so much.
Law?
NLAWs. Those are the tank devices. They're like these pretty lightweight. They look like 3 times the size of a bazooka. They're
law. Well, no, this is going to give me law firms. Sorry. Law missile. M72 law portable one-shot 66 millimeter unguided anti-tank weapon.
Yeah,
it's unguided, and so you got to be kind of close. It's my guess. And the next generation light MBT. Now, what about there's a tow? But I know everything we've been sending is javelins.
Yeah, but I've seen Ukrainians on the ground with these. That's what I don't know where they came from, but I've seen Ukrainians touting them and carrying them around and blowing up tanks with them in videos.
Well, look, if they're all sitting stranded in a convoy, it's not like it's moving.
Right.
You should be able to hit it with the older generation equipment.
Yeah, see, there's the device.
Okay. Yeah, now here's the tow. The tow is a long-range precision anti-armor, anti-fortification, anti-amphibious landing weapon system. Used throughout the world today. So yeah, it's the one you're talking about, the law.
Yep. All right, let's wrap it up.
All right, buddy.
Hey, folks, thank you so much for listening. Love you. Appreciate you. Please rate, review us, subscribe on your favorite podcast app, or just go to Apple Podcasts. And also do the same, please, on YouTube. Please feel free to reach out if you have ideas, thoughts, projects you want us to cover, or something you want to talk about on the show. We appreciate you listening. Joe, have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, everyone.
Talk to you in a couple of minutes.